And we are live. What is going on, LBHT crew? It is a Friday. We should not be here, but I have to work
The Ravens refuse to quit.
Yeah, there's some breaking news, and plus, I don't know if we're going live this weekend. Probably not. So I guess it's perfect timing. Yes, breaking news. The new head coach, Jesse Minter, along with EDC Free of Hardball Control, have found their new offensive coordinator. Yes, 29-year-old Declan Doyle.
Yeah, and I think it's hilarious because, again, if you just said the name to me, I would assume he was in his 60s.
The youngest coach in the NFL, I believe, 29
youngest coordinator, yeah.
Like youngest
I don't
coordinator.
I don't know about the youngest coach. I'm sure there's some middle schoolers running around as assistants somewhere.
There's a strength and conditioning coach out there somewhere that should probably be doing his homework right now, but he's got some snow days. Yeah.
Right.
The Hawk TV, what's going on? Thanks for coming through. Killer Cast is Ola Jose and Mucho Gusto Brodny.
Nice to meet you, Cam.
Ashley's in the house. What's going on, Ashley?
What's going on, Ashley?
Devin, what's going on, Devin? Thanks for coming through. It is what it is. What is good?
Okay.
That's what that stands for. It is what it is.
Well, I was reading it now. I get it.
Yes. And he's from Connecticut. That's what the CT stands for. Dr. Kush, salute. We figured that out one morning. He told us.
So you didn't figure it out.
We figured it out. No. It doesn't matter how we figured it out. We figured it out. Sancho, what's going on? It says defense first, offense, let's experiment. I feel sorry for Lamar. That's how you feel? Okay. Hey, you know what? Hey, listen. All opinions are welcomed. Hold this regime accountable. We don't know about any of these guys.
Yeah.
Right? We don't know. So, I mean, if you're skeptical, I love that too. Right? Let them know there is no honeymoon phase. You are here to work. So they have to earn your respect. Ty Riggs, what's going on? Stretch, salute.
What's going on, Stretch?
Davon, salute. Imani, good evening. User PG1 in the building.
That's not class, so I don't know.
What's going on? Thanks for coming through. Hawk TV says, off top, I'm not all in on this hire. Hopefully this OC proves all of the doubters wrong. Yeah, of course. This makes me feel like T. Martin and other coaches are being shafted so overtly in the NFL. Well, one, they are. I was actually talking to Brodny earlier about Byron Leftwich and how he got screwed over by the NFL. Mm-hmm. I was under the impression that he was offered a job by the Jaguars and he turned it down, right? Because he didn't want to work with that GM. Even still, that shouldn't be a death sentence for him, right?
Because that guy's a terrible GM.
Yes, he's a terrible GM. And didn't he get fired?
Yep.
He got fired. And, Byron Leftwich was the offensive coordinator on a Super Bowl team, Super Bowl champion team, right? And he just didn't get any other offers. He's in Colorado right now. But it turns out that was all made up, right? Leftwich never turned down a job. He wasn't offered the job. You know what I'm saying? He never made any demands or anything like that. But this is something that they do to black coaches all the time. They make these narratives that aren't true. Eric Bieniemy is a perfect example. You had that, and it was their own fans. Like Kansas City got some racist fans for real. That whole fan website made up a whole article just lying about him.
Yeah,
and that narrative stuck with him.
Of course,
And
now he's back.
I bet you don't like that article again.
It's crazy because I don't believe this, but Eric Bieniemy gone for a couple of years, and I saw an article today talking about Pat Mahomes past his prime.
Yeah,
and it's all going downhill in Kansas City.
Yeah. But all that to say is Byron Leftwich should be in the league, and I wouldn't have minded if he had gotten an interview.
Yeah,
at the very least, right? Who else we got in here? Noah. Hey, what's going on, Noah? Salute to you. Thanks for coming through. Twat Swat says fire EDC and Sashi Brown already.
reading names like that.
Well, you know, Coach reads it all the time. So, all right, you know. Yolanda, what's going on?
That's
Thanks
like
for coming
Yolanda.
through. Yolanda just finished streaming.
Now Yolanda gonna leave because you read that.
No, get your mind out the gutter. How about that? Okay. Y'all go check out Ravens Talk with Yolanda. She just finished doing a live stream about this, so make sure you get her perspective as well. All right. Dope stream. Spirit of Justice salute. Says all these new coaches make me feel old. Yeah.
It's not great.
Who else we got in here? Let's see. Jonathan Washington Jr. says, what's going on? Hey, what's going on, Jonathan? Yes. All right. B has overruled me. We're gonna have to call you TS from now on. Okay, TS. Yes. Okay. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about your doubts and your fears. All right. Declan Doyle. Outside of the name, what is it that you do not like about Declan Doyle? Okay.
It's not even Declan's a cool name. I like Declan as a name. You can't compare it with Doyle.
Right.
Doyle brings everything down.
Yeah. What's his middle name?
Oh no, I only check that if their first and last name start with K.
It's like Declan Drew Doyle. Declan Donald Doyle. Okay, here we go. No play calling experience. Okay, so Sancho, who would you? Okay, like who was at the top of your list? Who was at the top of your list for offensive coordinator out of who was available? Right. Obviously, people like Clint Kubiak. Clint Kubiak ain't going for offensive coordinator jobs. If he's going for a head coach job. Mm-hmm. So who would you have rather had? Yes, Killer Cam says double D. He's DD. Okay, all right.
D squared. I certainly get the apprehension having never called plays. It's an important thing, obviously. But look, you've never done it until you've done it, right?
Yes.
A lot of people wanted Clint Kubiak to be the head coach. He's never been a head coach. But you have the faith that they've shown the ability that they can handle the job, right? So look, I think if you're going to get somebody without that experience, it's not a bad place to do it in Baltimore, because as long as they stay healthy, as long as they fix the O-line, not that the offense is going to run itself, but the offense is going to do well because of the players that you have on the offense. Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, Zay Flowers, they're going to make that offense run regardless. So, you can kind of learn on the job a little bit. But also him being 29 and not having any play calling experience and still getting the job, especially with an organization as conservative as Baltimore, should tell you what people in the NFL think about him and his football mind,
Yeah. Sancho says, I would have gotten an offensive head coach in the first place, so I think it's all wrong. Yeah, but we're past that. Like, who would you have gotten for who would you rather they gotten for offensive coordinator? All right. Now, and like B said, like that's one of those things. If you're concerned about that, yes, he's young. By definition of his age, he can't have that much experience, right?
Yeah.
It was a hard come up from middle school to the NFL, I guess. What's going on, Suge? That is a legit concern. Like, how much does he really know? But that should also tell you what they think of him. And shout out to Killer Cam, because he dropped a video in our Discord. I watched that video of him being interviewed from 5 months ago, and this man, he might be 29. He sounds like he's 45, right? He is very locked in. He knows football, and he spent some years with Sean Payton, and he talked about the hours that he put in over there with the Saints, and that this past year he worked with Ben Johnson. That tells you that really does speak to. I mean, going from working with Sean Payton to being an offensive coordinator at 28. You know what I'm saying? That okay, that's a fast track, and now he's being brought in to be offensive coordinator and presumably to call the plays over here. That they don't just this is a league of nepotism, but even for him, he had to really prove that he has some knowledge there. And just because he hasn't called plays, he still has to design the plays. Like he's part of the strategy, he's part of the game plan. I think it is a bold move. It's something different, and I like the fact that we're doing something different here in Baltimore.
Yeah, I like them being aggressive with this move, right? You're going outside of Baltimore, somebody you don't know, some new ideas outside the building, outside the family. You're also going very young, which is not something necessarily that Baltimore would have done. I mean, they did it with Zach Orr, but that's their guy, right? I think it's a good gamble to take. They went young with the head coach. They're going young with the OC. They're trying to be more forward thinking, and hopefully kind of break out of that whole, man, we gotta load up on safeties and middle linebackers, and that's how we're gonna win this thing. Like, getting away from that model and trying to play a little bit more modern football. So I mean, none of us know how he'll be as an offensive coordinator. Like, he hasn't called the plays or anything like that. But I think it's a very good risk or a very good gamble to take on Declan.
Yeah, and if he doesn't work out, you fire him.
Yeah.
Sancho, I'm disappointed, man. You haven't given me, you can't come up with one name. You said, I need a guy with play calling experience, period. If you want and I respect that. But who? Just give me a name. If you want a fresh new guy, then go to the college ranks. I would have went harder at Joe Brady, to be honest. Joe Brady, he's got a head coach job.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, he's a head coach. We weren't going to get him. Now, I threw a name out there earlier. You didn't say anything. I said Byron Leftwich. If you said Byron Leftwich, I would say, I agree. Get Byron Leftwich. But give me a name. Give me a name. I'm messing with you, man. I'm messing with you. But I understand. I understand the reservation. But just because he doesn't have any play calling experience, I was waiting to see if you're going to say Shieldhouse, because a lot of people want a Shieldhouse, and Shieldhouse has no play calling experience.
Yeah, I just went and looked just because this guy's kind of a psychopath savant. Sean McVay actually got a offensive coordinator job at 28. Like when you just like. This is kind of the thing. We're not inside, right? We don't know any of these guys, and obviously with him not being the play caller, you can't judge anything on tape necessarily. But they all know him, right? They all work with him on a daily basis. They know what he knows. They know how he thinks about the game. They know how he prepares and all of that, right? And when you see guys get hired that young and get promoted that young, it tells you not necessarily that they're automatically going to be successful, but it tells you that everybody believes that they have something special about them, right? Because most coaches don't move up the ranks that quickly.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at it, I mean, I get it. Like, the league is starting to make the shift towards that younger generation, because they look at the game differently, and they can keep up with it. You look at who's in the Super Bowl, Mike McDonald. He's young, didn't have that much experience. I mean, well, first time head coach, he didn't have any play calling experience. Well, I mean, as a defensive coordinator, I guess he did 2 years in the NFL, right? 86 Go says Eric Bieniemy calls plays, or yes, Eric Bieniemy calls plays.
Yeah,
he's always Like that's one of those things. That
for the super chat, by the way, Buzz. I appreciate it.
Yes, thank you. That's one of those things that fan website put out. They put out that lie, said he wasn't the one calling plays, whatever. But Andy Reid always said that he called plays. He was he was in charge of that. But yeah, that's the shift that people are going towards. Younger coaches, and look. I maybe we get it right, maybe we don't, but his pedigree comes from it's not Sean McVay. Everybody wants somebody from the Sean McVay tree or the Shanahan tree, but Sean Payton, great offensive mind too.
He just worked with two of the top offensive minds in the league, in Payton and Ben Johnson.
And Ben, yep. Yeah, so you can't write that off. You can't write that off. But be skeptical. Absolutely. You want to see what he can actually do in the league, and we're going to find out. But I don't mind that risk. Yeah, most of the hires this offseason have been younger guys. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yes, exactly. Webb and Shieldhouse don't have play calling experience either. The only option we had was Kingsbury, and nobody wants Kingsbury. Right?
Wait a minute. What do you mean the only option we had? You a Ravens fan? Yeah. You a Ravens fan and your cousin plays for the Panthers?
This is Xavier's cousin. He's like, hey man, he's still a Panthers cousin. All right. What's up, DDSQ? Thanks for coming through. Cedric says the only real example you have of Cliff in the NFL is with bum-ass QB, bum-ass O-line, and weak wide receivers. Okay, but do you want him? You're being real evasive with my question. I just asked a simple question. Give me a name or two of who you would like to have here in Baltimore. That's all. That's all.
Which
do you like Cliff? I mean, do you like Cliff Kingsbury? This ain't a got you question. Do you like Cliff Kingsbury? Do you think he would have been good here?
That's fine. Bum-ass QB are you talking about? Because I mean, he coached Kyler and then Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, and he did good with Jaden Daniels the first year.
Yeah.
Hey, D-Melo, what's good? See you on the Iron Addict. What's going on? Thanks for coming through. Kwame, what's up? JR's in the chat. Hey, okay. All right. Y'all say Cliff is trash. He might be. Or he just might have had some bad luck. You know? But you're still taking but yes, he has experience, but you still might be taking a risk. He might just be bad, right? Like he hasn't had sustained success. We know he can't be a head coach. He's not good as a head coach. He's had some offensive success with Kyler and then with Jaden Daniels that first year, at least. And then, Jaden Daniels got hurt. But, you would like to see him do it consistently. So, Imani says, I thought the beat reporter said that Lamar in the offense wants Kingsbury. I knew she was lying. Yes.
She came out and said that she was wrong on that, apparently. So I don't know where that came from. And I don't know why anybody would say that.
But she said she knew for a fact. I saw the clip. Mm-hmm. She said, I know for a fact. So then you didn't know for a fact. So then you lied.
Well, sometimes if you hear something from a source that you trust, then reporters will go out there and they'll say it with their chest, right?
And they risk it all.
True, right? Yeah. I mean, that happened to Matt Miller, right? You remember him? Matt Barkley's not getting past the Cardinals in the first round. That was in the top 5, and he went in the 4th round. And he said, after that, like that dude fed him some BS intentionally, and he never talked to him again.
Yes, but Diane Racine didn't say that, right? She should have said, "Hey, my source, have me out here looking funny. I'm not gonna trust that source anymore."
Yeah,
right. But she just said, "Whoops, I misremembered." Hey, what's going on, Tracy? Thanks for coming through, Tracy. Everybody's here on a Friday night. That's how you know it's cold. You know it's cold outside. They're like, I'm not going anywhere. Let me see what's on TV or on YouTube. I'm not going outside. We have a captive audience here.
Right.
KP, what's going on? Says, especially with Derrick Henry, we're good off that. Good off of what? Oh, you're talking about Cliff. Cliff would turn Lamar into a shotgun merchant. I'm good. Oh, okay. I mean, listen. We see what kind of offense we can have with the average coordinator, and I think that's what Tom Monken was. I don't think Tom Monken did a bad job keeping it real. What's going on?
What's up,
I was just in your stream, or just in your chat. Thanks for coming through. He just finished talking about this on his channel, so make sure you subscribe over there. Keeping it real. Average coordinators can make this offense the number 1 scoring offense in the league.
Yeah.
We can win off of that. So we don't have to have the perfect guy. It'd be nice if we did, but somebody that's competent will work out. Would Cliff Kingsbury work out? If we hired Cliff Kingsbury, I still think we would be fine. I don't think highly of him, but I think we'd have been fine. But Declan Doyle, I feel like we're gonna be fine. But again, I accept all criticism. I'm not gonna go out there and die on the hill for any of these guys. Jesse Minter, none of them. They have to go out there and prove it. So if you're like, hey, yeah, like the move, I'm good with him. If you're like, no, don't like it, that either way is fine. They have to go out there and prove it. So yeah. King Trent TV, what's good? Thanks for coming through. Charles says Declan won't forget 22 is on the team. That's the thing, right?
Yeah.
That's the thing. Do you have eyes? Can you see what's going on in the field? Are you able to say, man, 22 is killing it. Keep giving him the ball.
Yeah.
Hey, you good? You tired? No? I run the rock.
What's going on, there's a lot that goes into game planning and trying to you're trying to outthink the opponent, right? Because everybody runs the same plays, right? So you're trying to outthink them and you're trying to sequence your plays in a way that they won't expect and all that. And it's difficult. I'm not gonna say that it's not, but sometimes coaches make it a lot more complicated than it is. If your O-line is opening holes and your running back is Derrick Henry, it's real simple to call plays.
This is real simple. The great ones. Thank you for the super chat. Says so glad 8 will be in the WCO.
West Coast offense.
Oh, West Coast offense. Okay, got you. He will be under center a ton, and the play action with the wide zone rub blocking will be nasty, and no more fullbacks.
Well,
damn right.
We'll see about that. I mean, y'all love them fullbacks.
Harbaugh loved those fullbacks.
Listen, EDC used his picks on them too. We're not going to absolve him completely.
Well, because of Harbaugh.
Maybe he likes fullbacks. We'll see.
Okay, yeah, we'll see.
I mean, listen, we talk about that being Harbaugh's thing, and Harbaugh loves his guys and everything, and Mark Andrews got that extension with Harbaugh on his way out. So I don't know.
I told you, EDC didn't know. I guarantee you, if Steve Bisciotti said, "Listen, I'm letting John go at the end of the year," that conversation about extending Mark Andrews goes like this: "Hey, let's extend Mark right now. Hey, John, why don't we wait? Can we talk about this later?"
I feel like Steve would have been like, "Hey, you know what? Why don't you hold off on any of John's suggestions for right now in terms of personnel?"
But I don't think. But at the time, he wasn't. He might have been thinking about it, but he wasn't 100% certain. So he didn't want to tip his hand, right? Because he goes out there and says, "Not yet. We'll talk about this later." Then it's like, "Oh man,
no, man, because
what's going on?
Hey, we don't talk extensions in season and blah blah blah. Whatever."
But they do talk extensions this season.
Hey, sometimes for some players they don't.
He that would have tipped his head. So Deron Dawson says exactly, no fullback and a wide open offense. There's a lot of opportunities here, man. There's a lot of optimism. Dapper Dons, what's going on? Says you'll have to put the right pieces and protection around Lamar Jackson. That's a given. Yeah. That's it. That's a given. That's for any team, for any quarterback. Kayla Nicole, what's going on? Says Richard was undrafted and Ozzie. Oh, I said Richard. Ricard was undrafted and Ozzie was GM at that time.
Yeah, but they drafted the kid out of Michigan, and I don't think they drafted Braun Breaker, but they brought him in as well.
Yeah. That's crazy. He's a wrestler now. Yeah, but that's
the top guy allegedly.
Yeah, Ozzie was a GM, but I mean Harbaugh was the coach. Like you ideally your GM is getting players that fit your coach's needs, right? So if Harbaugh uses a fullback in his system, then you make sure they have a fullback, right? If the new coach doesn't use a fullback, then you get rid of the fullback.
Thank you very much, Young Brew. He says, I'm just looking forward to not seeing Harbaugh's dumb looks and bad calls. We will be fine. Does anyone remember when the Eagles went young at coaching?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do we remember when the Eagles went young at coaching?
Mm-hmm.
How old is Sirianni? Sirianni is not old.
No, that's the thing. He's not old. And they got rid of Andy Reid and they won quite a bit.
Doug Peterson. And
they had Kellen Moore. They had Brian Johnson was a little bit of a failed experiment there, but
he wasn't like 32 or anything like that young, but yeah.
Thank you very much. That was Beek's tweet talking about Nnamdi Madubuike.
Oh, Madubuike. Yeah.
Putting out a tweet that just said good news.
Listen.
All right.
I'm old enough and more experienced enough to know not to fall for that bait. Okay. Players do that all the time and leave people hanging like, what could it mean?
Right.
It could mean he saved a bunch of money on his car insurance. That's what it could mean. Right. Or it could mean, hey, he's cleared to play. We don't know, but I'm not falling for that.
Maybe somebody in his family got a job that they interviewed for.
Like, we don't know what it is. Like, say what the good news is. If you're gonna leave us hanging like that, then I'm ignoring it. I'm not addressing that. Okay. Wait, it's like, give me the news. Since it's such good news.
Yeah, hopefully he's okay and he's cleared to play and comes back and all that, but that's not what the tweet said. I can't, and not just at players, not just at Madubuike. I can't stand people to do that. Oh man, I just heard some news that's going to be really exciting. I can't tell you.
Listen,
I hate that.
All seriousness, if he's at a more increased risk of injury, serious injury, don't come back, man. Yeah. Enjoy the money that you made. You're young. You can, you got your health. Do something else. This ain't worth it, right? If you're cleared, you have, and for goodness sakes, don't be cleared by a team doctor. Be actually cleared by a doctor. If you're cleared and they said, hey, injury is not as bad as we thought, you healed up properly, there's not going to be any long-term effect, you're good, then come back. Anything less than that, don't come back.
Yeah,
don't come back.
Charles Farley wants to know, what do you get for number 7 in a trade? Took me a second to remember that number 7 was Rashad Bateman. We have
14, not 7.
You get a 6. A 6.
For Bateman,
mm-hmm.
We might be able to swindle a 5,
maybe. But I mean, listen,
he had a bad year.
He didn't even hit 230.
This is not even like to criticize him as a player. He just had a bad year. If it was a year prior and we wanted to trade him, we'd have gotten more.
Yeah,
but
he had an abysmal year. Like it was worse than bad. He had 224 yards as the number 2.
Yeah, and Imani says, all I know is the new OC better not keep 77 and cut 72. Yeah, so Faalele is a free agent. I see no way he comes back. He's not coming back. They would have to literally say, yeah, forget Linderbaum. We're not signing him. Faalele, come on down. Come get your check.
That's the rumor. But also, I will remind. Yeah, that is the rumor that Linderbaum going to San Francisco. But I will remind you,
Faalele is coming back.
I didn't say anything about that part. Okay. But I will remind you that a year ago at this time, we all said, "There's no way Ben Cleveland's coming back." And what did Ben Cleveland do?
Yeah,
right on back.
But nobody's saying they didn't want him back. It wasn't because it was his play. They just thought because he was in the doghouse.
It was because they wouldn't play him. And why would you bring him back? You don't like him. You're not going to put him on the field. And then they brought him back and did the same thing and then cut him.
I understand. This is a completely different coaching staff now.
It is a completely different coaching staff. It's the same GM. So again, we're doing a lot of grace giving with EDC in terms of the power dynamics with him and Harbaugh. And I get that. But we can also wait and see how he starts moving before we totally absolve him of past moves.
I'm not totally absolving him. He doesn't call the shots, right? Like it's not going to be now. It's going to be same as usual. It doesn't matter how you want things done. I'm going to bring in these guys because that's what I do here. Like that's not how it works. All right,
that's fine. But I'm not, and I didn't even say Faalele will come back as a starter, but him coming back is not out of the question. You know, they like Faalele in the organization. They can bring him back and say, hey, you know what, the Warhop's gone.
We don't know.
Let's see what you can do with him.
We know Harbaugh has a relationship with Faalele. We don't know how much they like him. You know what I mean? But absolutely, Imani. Like, yes, the one that might come back is Voorhees, because they're like, well, we're not paying him anything. You know, he may not be a starter, but he might still be on a roster. He should be cut, absolutely. But Faalele, I don't see any way that he comes back. You know, and hopefully he can develop somewhere else. I wish him well. I don't want to roll the dice with him moving forward. You know, EDC is the actual problem. He might be. Hey, we're gonna find out.
They're both the actual problem. Like, we don't have to. Again, we don't have to absolve one or the other. Like, John was a big part of the problem too.
Oh yeah. Don't. I know you're not gonna say that John was. John was cooking. He's being held back by EDC, because John was going to get fired before EDC took over. Right. Craig Zero, what's going on? Thanks for coming through. Let's see who else we got in here. Craig says Doyle knows situational football. Most of the Bears wins were coming from behind. Pause. He didn't call the plays.
He wasn't calling the plays. So, I mean, he's seen someone who knows situational football, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Of course, I mean, we don't know exactly how involved he was, or how involved he wasn't. You know.
Yeah. That Earl Thomas signing was fireable.
I mean, Earl Thomas was a great player.
It was a good signing at the time. We were doing a little revisionist history. Like, nobody was really against it at the time.
We can't do that. He was on his way to the Hall of Fame in Seattle. You know, the same thing with Marcus Williams. Marcus Williams, everybody looked at him as one of the top safeties in the league when you brought him in. It just didn't work. It happens sometimes.
Yeah. The problem isn't the players. The problem is how much you're investing in those positions over and over and over, and you're not doing that on the offense, right? You can spend money to bring in a safety, and if it doesn't work out, we'll spend money to bring in another safety. That doesn't work out, we'll draft a safety. If it works out, we'll draft another safety. If it doesn't work out, we'll trade for another safety, right? Like that's the problem. That's why we say hashtag defund the defense. Stop spending all your money in high draft picks on these positions, and you're not getting a good return on investment when the offense needs a lot of help. You know, like, they didn't spend anything on offensive line. They're dead last in money spent on the offensive line.
Yeah.
All right. We got 170 people in here. That's what I'm talking about. Hit that like button. If you're new in here, hit that subscribe button. All right. Stop creeping in here. All right. Hit the subscribe button. Participate in the chat. Say what's up. All right. Hit that pin link that you see in the chat box. That will take you to our Patreon. Patreon.com/LBHTShow. Because while I know it's Friday and you're not going outside because it's cold, that also means you are spending money on food delivery, DoorDash, pizza delivery. All those come with delivery fees. All right. One of you guys, a few of you guys, be brave, drive and go pick up your food. That pays for the Patreon. It's as little as $5 a month. Okay. $5. All right. Save a couple of dollars on that delivery. Sign up to the Patreon, and you will get access to our overtime show that happens every Wednesday after our main show. And we have some great discussions in the overtime show. Great discussions. Yeah. All right. And you get access to our Discord channel. We mentioned it earlier. You know, I saw the interview from Declan Doyle. Killer Cam dropped that in our Discord, and I appreciate that, Killer. But a lot of great conversations. Everything that you're seeing in the chat, that goes on in our Discord as well. And that's 24/7. All right. Let's see. Kwame says, hey, I guess you got to serve before you can lead. Yeah. Everybody's got to start somewhere. Right. And for Doyle, at least he was an offensive coordinator. No, he didn't call the plays, but he did everything else a coordinator would do. Right. Now it's his time to call plays. But I get, again, like, I get what Sancho's saying. I get what other people that don't like this saying. You don't want to experiment, right? You want to get sure things. So I understand that.
But there aren't sure things if you're promoting somebody. Like they're just
true.
Aren't.
I want more I want more of the sure thing on the field. I don't want to experiment with players. I damn sure don't want to experiment with offensive line. Get guys that know how to play.
Mm-hmm.
Kimo says, Jose, check my last chat. Your last chat, I don't know. Just post what you man. No, post it again. Post it again, Kimo. I'm doing a stream. I gotta scroll through all these chats. There are 175 people in here. I gotta scroll through these chats to find you. Post it. Hey, Adelia, what's going on?
Hey, what's up, Adelia?
Thanks for coming through. Just post your chat again, and I'll catch it this time. Maybe do it quickly. A defensive coach should want a string run game to support the defense. I expect Mentor to focus hard on. Oh, I lost it. Where'd it go? Hard on the O-line. If you focus on the O-line, we are in great shape. Yeah. Wandering Raven, salute to you, Wandering Raven. I really appreciate your support. I see, man. This man supports all of us, man. Us, Hendo, Coach Evans. He's in all these chats with the super chats, man. I really appreciate that. He says, gonna hold off my excitement until we see what EDC does. Yeah, but this is the exact type of hire I was hoping for. A highly young offensive mind, more proven supporting staff like the O-line hire for him to lean on. Yes, that's going to be one of those hires that's going to be underrated. But our O-line coach and assistant O-line coach, both of them are coming from Atlanta, and they're both highly respected. And the O-line was really good. So I really like that hire. The position coaches are just as important, collectively. I think the lack of experience and knowledge on the defensive side last year is what hurt Zach Orr. Right? Mm-hmm. When Mike McDonald was here before, but 2 or 3 of those coaches went on to be defensive coordinators. Yeah. You had Anthony Weaver, you had Denard Wilson. Somebody else I'm missing.
No, those two that left to be defensive coordinators, and then Mike McDonald obviously left to be a head coach.
Yeah.
So they lost the 3 top coaches on their defensive staff.
Yeah, and of course Zach Orr was a linebacker coach. So I mean, he had an excellent supporting cast around him to help coach up these guys. But when Zach Orr got the job, he wasn't left with any of that. So he struggled more. But Mentor knows defense. He's going to bring in guys. I mean, he brought in one guy from Notre Dame. No NFL experience, obviously, but Mentor already knows defense, right? Yeah. So he can bring in younger guys and say, okay, this is what I need you to do or whatever. And we'll see how the rest of the coaching staff shapes out. But he's at in a much better place. All right, Kimo, I see it. Says, what does Doyle's job if he wasn't calling plays? What was his job if he wasn't calling plays? They said Eric Bieniemy wasn't calling plays in Kansas City, and we saw the production drop the moment Bieniemy left. Yeah, they lied about that.
Eric was calling plays. Kansas City always said he was calling plays. That was other people that said he wasn't. And if you're not calling the plays, you're heavily involved in the game planning and designing the offense. Like, you're just not calling the plays on game day.
Yeah. And you're running and you're teaching the team. Like you're running the practices, and you're making sure everybody understands where they need to be. Like, you're doing everything except calling the plays on game day. Hazy Purple Kush, thank you for subscribing. I saw another subscriber here earlier. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you. What else we got in the chat? Man, that's what I'm talking about. Nebeling says, found you through Hendo a few weeks ago. Hey, okay. Shout out to Hendo. Enjoy the conversations and getting different perspectives. Go Ravens. Thank you. Yes. Me and Hendo do a morning show Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. You can watch it here, or you can watch it on Hendo's channel. You're probably watching it on Hendo's channel, but we multi-stream Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 6:15 a.m. if you're up that early. If you're not up that early, just watch it when you wake up. Watch the replay.
There you go.
Okay. Let's see. Read a couple more comments, and we're getting out of here because I got work again in the morning. This is, I don't like that. I don't like working on the weekends.
Fool's game.
It is, but it has to be done. Charles says OC job is so much more than just calling plays. Yes, absolutely. He drew up game plans and watched film. He devised a strategy. No, yeah, for sure. Dang, Ty said he's up at 3:45. Man, that's why he makes it to all of our streams. We appreciate you. Yeah. So, like I said, I like it because you're bringing in people with fresh ideas. You're not bringing in guys that doing it what you call the Ravens way, right? What we think of as a Ravens way. It's the Ravens way in name only, but they're bringing in a new way of thinking. The offense should look different, hopefully for better, right? Not worse. And I think that's going to benefit. Like we needed somebody like this for a player like Lamar Jackson, somebody that's not going to look at him and say, well, he'll get it done with his feet. He'll figure it out. No, somebody that can look at all his skills and say, this is what he needs to be in. This is a system best for him. Mm-hmm. The Ravens, since Lamar's been drafted, have not built a system for Lamar Jackson.
Right.
And I believe Declan Doyle will do that. Hopefully. Any realistic chance Mentor gets rid of? See, they go to insults. It forces Andrews and forces them to resign likely. See, you guys, let me tell you something. Let me tell y'all something, man. Whenever me and B say, hey, we don't like a person, right? Or we don't like a draft, we don't go that far. We just tell you, not a good pick, not a good signing, and y'all turn into this right here. Okay. Y'all want to defend the player. Oh, you're hating, you're being negative. Oh, no, give him a chance. He just needs an opportunity. Right? Right? Like, you guys do that. But the minute you guys sour on that player, you turn into this.
I want you to exit this guy off the premises, and I want you to exit him off his feet and use his head to open the fucking door.
Sir, you're going to have to leave.
Leave me alone! Here we go. You're kidding me!
Sure enough.
That's you guys, okay? That's you guys. The minute you're done with something, the minute you're fed up, you want him exited off the premises, and you want to use his head to open up the door, okay? That's what you guys are like.
To answer your question, no, you're not getting rid of Mark Andrews. Cutting Mark Andrews would cost you $11 million in cap room, or it would be $11 million in dead money. Trading him would be let's see, trading him. Well, I shouldn't even look it up because you're not trading him. But
not the first year. I mean, trading him, I guess, is a possibility.
Trading him would still cost you about $500,000. Trading him is not a possibility. Ain't nobody taking him. Like,
it's a possibility. It's a big
possibility. He's one of those players that you would have to pull a Brock Osweiler, and you would have to attach something to him, to get him out. And honestly, I still, even then, that's a tough sell. I don't. They're with Brock, it was a second round pick. You're not doing that for Mark, right?
I think
so. Like
they'll make use of him, right? They'll make use of him.
Yeah,
for this year. Next year,
he's going to be coaching up Charlie Kolar to take his spot.
Yeah, because maybe they bring back Isaiah Likely. Who knows? Trade him for a 6. We'll see. That out of all the moves that we need to make, that's lower on the list. If he stays, he stays. That's it's fine. He's not the worst player in the world. So that's whatever. We have to re-sign Linderbaum, re-sign Lamar. We need to make a real splash in free agency. And the second most important thing, or third most important after signing Lamar and Linderbaum, is you got to really hit on this draft.
Yeah. What was they saying? Is y'all just going to eat that Mark Andrews thing?
No, I'm just saying, we don't have to eat it. Like, I mean, they might get rid of him, but that's just not. It's just not as important. This is not as important. $500,000 for a trade, get him out of here. That's almost free. Panthers don't want him. No, B is focusing on.
He's Isaiah Likely or Kenyon Sadiq in the draft. Why would the Panthers want him? Y'all don't want him.
One man's trash is what he's saying. Okay. Another man's treasure. The great ones. Thank you for a super chat. Says, nail these assistant coaches and bring in a Leslie Frazier type like Mike McDonald did in Seattle. We super straight. Mentor is going to be calling the defense, so we don't need to bring in a Leslie Frazier. I was asking B actually the other day. I said, well, what do you think about Sean McDermott? Sean McDermott is an excellent defensive coordinator. And I was like, what do you think about him coming to Baltimore? And B was like, he's an excellent defensive coordinator, but probably not a good idea if his philosophy is different from Jesse Mentors, right? Jesse Mentors is going to be calling the plays. He doesn't need somebody to call plays for him. So you don't need a great defensive coordinator, right? You need somebody that shares your idea, that can echo your sentiments and your play calling and all that stuff. You know what I mean? So it doesn't have to be anybody that's great. I think somebody in that position needs to be somebody younger that you can actually mold into that position. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think that you don't want somebody in Sean McDermott who probably feels like he was wrongfully fired and should still be a head coach.
Yeah, and he might be coming for his job.
Yeah.
Just Spicy Rice says he needs a DC that can get him some water in a towel. See you, man. He needs a get back coach like Ray has.
Everybody needs a get back coach.
Sean McDermott will make more money staying home. Facts. He knows he ain't taking any interviews. I'm certain he's gotten calls.
I know Cleveland called him.
Oh, did they?
I'm assuming you didn't settle on Todd Monken without calling the dude who's had double-digit wins the last 7 years.
I'm sure he's like, nope. He said, I'm gonna take all their money. How you feel about Jim Leonard? I'm cool with that. Yeah, that's the other person that they were talking to. Joe Cullen and Jim Leonard, former Ravens safety Jim Leonard. I'm cool with that.
Okay.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Craig says, Jose, who do you think we are pursuing in free agency?
Oh,
I can't tell you. That's
we're going to be doing for the Panthers and Ravens free agency for who they should be re-signing, who they should be targeting in free agency, and as well as the draft.
Yeah. But if you listen to the stream, you've heard us talk about throw some names out there a couple times. I'm just saying, EDC said make a big splash. So, make a big splash. And it needs to be on the offensive side. That's all I'm going to say. I'm referring to Leslie being an assistant head coach who helps with the inexperience of our coaches. Okay. What is he? Where is he now? He's on Seattle staff, isn't he?
Yeah, that's what he was saying. They brought him in to help Mike McDonald because he doesn't have any experience as a head coach.
Oh, you're saying bringing somebody like him to.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah. I'm not mad at that. I hear you. No, absolutely. And I would like to see that on the offensive side as well, right? You got a young offensive coordinator, really young offensive coordinator, who he looks the part, he sounds the part, but you bring in somebody with some experience to kind of help him with the nuances of the game. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And help communicating with the players, especially the older players, because there's a few players that are going to be older than him, and maybe he doesn't have that respect right out the gate, but you have some older coaches in there that command that respect that can echo his voice. That would help out. So yeah. That's a good idea. Let's see who else he got in here. Let's see. Yes, listen to New Nathan says hit the like button. Yes, I like that idea.
Thank you.
Hit the like button. I appreciate that. Teams got 20 mil from the revenue share.
Yeah, well, it's the projected cap is about like 15 mil or so, 10, 15 higher than a lot of people were expecting. So it's a little more money to play with. But
yeah, a little more. And again, once they get Lamar's deal done, they'll have even more money to play around with. Money is not an issue.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter who they want to get. Money is not a hindrance. So don't let anybody tell you that it cannot happen. It can absolutely happen. You set up the contracts to move money around. You can fit anybody under the contract, under the cap that you want. So I don't care what the cap says, right? I've seen teams that are 80 million over the cap, magically get under the cap and sign players.
Yeah, the Saints were over 100 million over the cap one year, and they got under and went about their business.
Right. Do you guys like the defensive end out of Texas Tech, David Bailey?
Yeah, he's really good, but not in the first.
Yeah. We're not looking at edge rusher in the first round. We're looking at offensive line if we haven't addressed it in free agency, and or wide receiver, right? Those are the two things you need to look at in the first round. And then D-line. We got to address the D-line. Unless Matt BK has really good news. And then still address it. Right? The Saints and Cowboys, Dan Shore, Ken. Cat hit is 78. Oh, Patriots cat hit is 78. Yeah, they spent all the money. Yeah. The cap does not mean anything. The cap is not real. The cap is only there to keep players' salaries down. When owners decide, any owner in the league can decide it's time for me to get serious and start winning. And you'll be surprised how fast they can put together a winning team.
Mm-hmm.
It can happen that fast.
95% of winning is caring.
Yep. Like Brodny says, want to. Mm-hmm. Right?
No, he's talking about Pat Mahomes. His cap hit is 78 million. But that's not an issue because that's definitely being worked out. Chris Jones' cap hit is 44.8. Yeah. But that's not even an issue because Chris Jones, I mean, he's not as good now. But the biggest issue is Jawan Taylor at 27.3. Jawan Taylor he couldn't block the wind, and he jumps off sides every single play.
Yeah, they don't call it.
Well, no, they don't call that every play, but he's the most penalized tackle in the league.
Yeah.
So, that's terrible.
NET Sports, he also does not like the move. We're taking risk and experimenting with OC.
Well, no, that doesn't mean he doesn't like it. Maybe he's a fan of that.
Oh, okay. Hey, maybe. Yeah, I guess, you're right. You're right. There is some risk involved, especially as, his age. He doesn't have a lot of experience, but, like B said, that might be a sign of we might have like a genius here. We might have like one of those offensive minds, like the next Sean McVay, right? Mm-hmm. And if they feel, what would you do if you're in that situation, right? Because that's how Sean McVay started. B pointed out earlier, Sean McVay was 28 years old when he got his offensive coordinator job, right? Yeah. How much play calling experience did he have then? You know what I'm saying? But he was Sean McVay. Mm-hmm. And what if Minter spoke with Doyle and he's like, hey, I'm getting some strong vibes here. Like, this could be the guy. Yeah. Sometimes you got to roll the dice. You got to take risks. We're trying to win here. And I think Jesse understands there is no honeymoon phase here. Like, you got to hit the ground running. People are looking at you to win Super Bowls, Yeah. So you might have to take some risks, Yeah, Tony, Mekhi Lemon, wide receiver from USC. That's somebody that's on my radar, for sure. The great one says, I think he is here for 2 years. Are you talking about Doyle or are you talking about Minter? If Doyle's here for 2 years, that means good things are happening. If Minter's is here for 2 years, that means bad things are happening. Sean McVay is one of one. I'm skeptical. He's not one of one.
No.
He's not one of one. There's been plenty of really good offensive coordinators that turn into head coaches. I mean, that's Kyle Shanahan, right? In fact, they coach together. You know, Mike McDonald is in the Super Bowl now in his second year with the Seahawks. Mm-hmm. He spent 2 years with us. Like that's not a one. You know, he beat Sean McVay to get there. McVay was only 30 when he got the head coaching job. Yeah, mm-hmm. Yeah. McVay ain't 1-on-1. You know, you can find others. We may have found another one. We may have found another one. Almost 200 people in here. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you're new. You guys have really been showing us love and support, man. We really appreciate it. We hit 3,000 pretty quickly. Now help us get to 4,000. And also hit up the Patreon. Patreon.com/LBHTShow. Small contribution there. $5 a month. Very affordable. Or if you just want to pay for the year, you get a discount if you pay for the year. I'm not exactly how big the discount is. You know, you probably pay like $50.
It's about 10%.
Okay, yeah. So you'll pay around 50 something, some change, right, for the year. And you get a lot for that. A lot of bonus content. Okay. The only comparison I can make from this hire is Kellen Moore, unknown play calling, no tape on him. Yeah. And it worked out well for the Eagles. You know? And that's not the only person.
Oh no, he's with the Saints
as a head coach. But yeah, he was
in terms of getting. Well, I mean, I guess if you're talking about him getting hired as the OC, sure, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess he started as an OC in Dallas first, right? Then went to.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he was the play caller in Dallas. I don't know.
I'm not sure. Udinski is 30, had a great year in Jacksonville. Yeah. I you know, again, and this is not me criticizing anybody, because if you're not sure about this move, if you don't like the move, I'm okay with that, right? Because he hasn't proven anything. He has to earn your respect in that sense, right? Earn your trust. But you know, if we would have hired Nate Shieldhouse like a lot of people wanted, would you have felt better about that? And if so, why? Because Nate Shieldhouse also doesn't have any play calling experience. He doesn't have any offensive coordinator experience. He's not an offensive coordinator right now. Yeah. He's a pass game coordinator / QB coach. Mm-hmm. You know, so he has less experience in those terms than Doyle has. You know, but if you're saying you feel more comfortable because he's coming from the Sean McVay tree, I understand that too. But coaching under Ben Johnson and Sean Payton, that's not nothing.
Yeah.
You know, didn't Doyle turn down the Eagles OC job to come here? I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think he did. He turned down somebody. But yeah, I think a lot of people turned down that Eagles job though.
Just Alex says he's black, so I would have liked it more. But yeah, hey, I hear you. But hey, Byron Leftwich is black. Mm-hmm. You know, when people are saying, "Hey, we want somebody with experience," there's a Super Bowl caliber offensive coordinator out there in the streets that should be a head coach right now. He ain't getting any calls. I would have loved to see Byron Leftwich here. Right? I would have loved to see Byron Leftwich as a head coach. Mm-hmm. Just saying. Shieldhouse had OC experience in college. That's the only difference. Yeah. Doyle, I'm not sure what he did in college. I know he coached for like Iowa, one of those places. You forgot all about that dude. You talking about Byron Leftwich? Yeah. He should be in the league. He's coaching in Colorado right now with Dion. Yeah, I know you forgot about Leftwich. That's thanks to the media. They wrote him off. Then they won't talk about him, and then they make up the media nowadays is so diabolical. You have to really take with a grain of salt what they say. Sometimes they're telling you some truth. Sometimes they'll just flat out lying to you. And whatever they tell you, you have to confirm it with other sources, right? You can't just take the word of one person. You can't take the word 2 or 3 of them sometimes. You just have to go and do your research, right? And research isn't just looking on Twitter or X for posts, right? Actually go and do some research. But you know, he is a good coach. He's a good coach. But the media will lie and say, "Oh, Kingsbury. Oh, yeah, everybody wants Kingsbury. Lamar and the wide receivers really wanted Kingsbury." That's a lie. Nobody wants him, right? He's not that good. Yeah. And if Kingsbury can keep getting looks and people will say, "Oh, I'd like to have him here," why not Leftwich? Leftwich has had a lot more success than Kingsbury, right?
Yeah, y'all gotta stop hating on Todd Bowles, man. Asking how Todd Bowles have a job because he won the division 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
And missed the playoffs by, I mean, yeah, they collapsed in the second half, but they missed the playoffs by 1 game.
Yeah. Let's see. Tactical precision training. Hey, salute to you. Says my coach's son played with Leftwich at Marshall. Hey,
see one of the ones that carried him down the field.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Was he? Yeah, that was dope. That was dope.
I tell you, I used to buy into all of them narratives when I was little. I saw that and I was like, he's the greatest quarterback of all time. Panthers got to get him. And then we took franchise left tackle instead. Yeah.
Tactical precision training. Do you have a YouTube channel? I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna check you out. Shout out to your son, man. Bucks want stability. Yeah, they got it. They got it. I think that was a decent transition from Bruce Arians, right? Mm-hmm. Now, he's got to pick it up after this year. He can't have another year like he did this year. He'll be out of there. Doyle was an assistant in college, then again under Peyton, then tight ends coach in Denver before moving to the Bears. There you go. Wasn't he? Well, no, wasn't he? Did he coach with the Saints?
No.
For a little bit? Oh, okay.
I don't think so. He was in Denver last year, and then he moved to Chicago this year as coordinator.
Gotcha. Okay, gotcha.
But I'll just say this, man. I really don't.
I guess he wasn't old enough, right?
Yeah, I really don't think it's that huge a deal who you hire as OC, because what it really comes down to is, do you have the talent? I mean, obviously, you want a guy who can, adjust in game, right? But great offensive coaches will look terrible if they don't have the talent, right? And bad offensive coaches will look great if they do have some talent. I think it's more important on the defensive side of the ball, where you have to have 11 guys all working together, all communicating and doing the right thing on every play to stop the offense from scoring. But on offense, if you have a couple game breakers, that'll take care of itself for the most part. I sat and watched Mike Shula coordinate the best offense in the NFL because they had Cam Newton.
Yep.
Sean McVay went 5-12 1 year, as an offensive genius, because Matt Stafford didn't play that well and Cam Akers was their running back. Yep. You need the talent on offense, and I think it's more important who's running the defense year to year. But if you've got the skill on offense, you're going to be fine.
Yeah. Tactical says, I have an IG, same name, I'm a firearm, and Stop the Bleed instructor. Hey, listen, everybody go follow him on IG. That's an important thing to know nowadays, especially with ICE shooting up everybody, right? Like, be safe out there, Check him out. Let's see. Sancho says McDaniel failed with one of the most talented offenses in the NFL.
Is that with Tua running it?
Yeah, he had one of the most talented quarterbacks.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah. They had some highs there. It wasn't like they were complete bums. It fell apart in the end, but your quarterbacks had, who knows how many concussions he's actually had. 10. You know what I'm saying? It turned bad at the end. But I would say he had a lot of success.
Yeah, he was 9-8, then 11-6, and then 8-9 and 7-10 the last 2 years.
Yeah. Lamar is basically an alien on the football field the NFL has never seen before, and the Baltimore Ravens are basically hiring on-the-job training guys and calling them a genius to coach a two-time MVP. Okay, all right. Hey, again, I get the criticism. Like these are first-time head coaches and coordinators, and you're wondering how is this going to work. I get it. They have to absolutely prove it, and if they're bad, I don't expect them to be around long, right? The beauty of hiring coaches, they can be hired for 5, 6, 7, 10 years, right? It doesn't matter. Their contract doesn't affect the cap. So, like we found out with John Harbaugh, and that's something we discussed, he had 3 more years left on his contract, and people are like, oh, he's not going anywhere. That contract doesn't mean anything. When it's time to go, it's time for you to go, right? These owners are billionaires. Like Steve Bisciotti talked about, hey, I told John he should probably think about taking some time off. I don't mind just kicking out that money for you, for a year while you think about coming back or not. Like he doesn't care. That's $17 million is nothing for Steve Bisciotti. That whole contract is nothing for him. So that's okay if they want to try something different and see if it works, but it's about knowing when to pull the plug, right? Because this isn't a rebuild team. This is a team that's trying to win now. So you might give everybody some grace for the first year, depending on how it goes. But then after that first year, it's time, right? So yeah, I think he has 2 years. We can't look average 2 years from now. We have to look like we are right there. So yeah, expectations are high here. So I'm okay with it. First-time coaches are almost 50% more likely to reach the playoffs than retread coaches. Okay. I don't know where you got that stat from. I ain't challenging it. I'll take you at your word.
And Sanchez saying they're holding Cliff accountable with bombs in Arizona. Cliff had 1 winning season in the NFL, and he wasn't successful in college. That's the difference.
Yeah, did he coach Pat Mahomes in college?
I don't know. He didn't. I don't know if he coached Mahomes. I can't remember now. I think he did, but he was at Texas Tech, and they were not good. He had a losing record, and he got to the NFL, and he had 1 good season, and the rest were bad.
What's up, Osman? I mean, you can. I mean, like I hear you. You can say, hey, he didn't have good players around him, if you feel that way, right? But when was he good? Like what makes you believe he's a good offensive coordinator? That's all I'm saying. Like he just didn't have like good stretches. Not long enough for me to be comfortable with them. You know what I mean? Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did coach Pat Mahomes. So I don't know. Like I said, like it's not enough there for me to be like, yeah, he's proven enough to where I want him to come over here and coach. Leftwich had a lot more success. Hars was a burden. These new hires feel like the burden is lifted. It does a little bit. Harbaugh was a burden because he was stuck in his ways. Yeah. Things that clearly aren't working, and he sees the weakness in his game and he refuses to reinvent himself. He refuses to change. Cliff, he still gets love for being an air raid wizard in college that flashed in the NFL at times. His college offenses were nasty, but I just don't like it in the NFL. Okay. Yeah. But, we'll find out. We'll find out one way or another. And it's okay. We're all rooting for this coaching staff to be successful, and they're still putting together the coaching staff. We haven't hired a defensive coordinator yet. I'm rooting for Jim Leonard. I hope he gets the job. I think that'd be kind of dope. But look, man, like we can. This is the time where you can be a little optimistic. Right, it's the off season, and or not. You can be optimistic, or you can be critical. We're usually critical in the off season because the off season is where you can make all the changes. Right, when the season starts, that's when you don't have a choice but to root for them. So we welcome all the criticism, you know. Well, I mean, it's not towards us, it's towards them. So, but no, I'm cool with it. You know, I like this. This is different from what it's been the last few years, right? Usually, you guys say we're the negative ones. You know, you're being too negative. But I like this. Hey, I don't know about this person. Hey, I don't know about that. Hey, he's got to show me something. Absolutely, absolutely. And you know, these sentiments, they reach the coaches, right? Like they reach the organization. They know what fans are saying about it. So for them to know, hey, they're not sold on these guys. They're watching us. That's a good thing. Chemo says, I'm gonna be critical no matter what. I don't care if it's the off season or mid season. Yeah, no, like we're critical too. Like, but we're just saying in during the season, you can't expect them to make that many changes. You just have to root for them. In the off season, you can do anything. Oh, we got a nice super chat here.
Thank you, Tony.
Appreciate that.
Just love the show, fellas. Keep it fire. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Appreciate that. Now I'll say this, Tony. I'll say this. You know, anybody that wants to make these large donations, first of all, thank you so much. Really appreciate that. YouTube takes 30% of that, brother. I just want to say that. Cash App $ LBHTShow would be more preferable, or patreon.com/LBHTShow. Okay, that would pay for the year.
Sanchez saying y'all acting like y'all knew who Patrick was out of college. Guys thought the Chiefs reached pick and pat. Don't retroactively bash Cliff for a play y'all didn't think would be that good. Okay, well, one, I mean, I don't know who you're responding to. You're not responding to us, but I didn't say anything about Pat Mahomes. I think he had a losing record in college and a losing record in the NFL. So what are you talking about?
Yeah, I mean, if you like Cliff, you like Cliff. That's fine. I'm just saying, like, he hasn't proven himself to be a good coach.
Right. So, yeah, he had a losing record in college as a head coach and a losing record in the NFL as a head coach. Why are you defending him? Mike McDaniel, the guy you were talking about, has a winning record in the NFL. So why are we defending Cliff and comparing him to Mike?
And I'm not even like challenging your opinion that much. If you think he can be a good coach with talent, that's fine. You know, but like when you're saying you want somebody proven, you know, like he hasn't been, he's proven in the sense that he's called plays before, he's got experience, but he hasn't proven to be a good coach, right? But if you have a good feeling about him, okay, that's your opinion. You know, there are other coaches that had more success. You know, that's why I was asking you earlier, like, you know, give me some names of who you would have liked that had experience. I would have preferred Byron Leftwich, if we're being honest, right? Or Eric Bieniemy, you know, who went back to the Chiefs. I think those are two coaches that didn't really get fair shots. Byron Leftwich is out the league right now. I think he should be a head coach, but at the very least, bring him back as an offensive coordinator, right? I'd have loved to see him here, but you know, I get it. The coaches that we bringing in now, it is experimental. We don't know what they can bring, so it's a feeling, right? It's a feeling. So if you feel like Kingsbury could have done well here too, I respect that too, you know. But don't pretend like he's really done anything in the league. He hasn't. You know, and mind you, he handpicked Kyler Murray. You can say, well, Kyler Murray was a bum. That's who he asked for.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Ask the question, is he family? Are you related? Oh. I don't think Sancho is related to Kingsbury. Are you? You know what? You know what, technical? I do have to ask because this happened too many times here where when you argue with something, they're like, actually, that's my cousin.
Yeah.
You know, actually, that's my nephew. All right, let's start with that. We don't mean disrespect to Cliff Kingsbury if you're related to him or if you're a roommate or whatever, you know. SBK says, I get it now. You know where that started? You guys know where that started? That started on Twitter. We were arguing with James Prochet's uncle. James Prochet. You guys remember those debates we had about James Prochet? he watched one of our videos and he felt offended for his nephew, and he commented on the video. He was DMing us, he was adding us on Twitter, all this stuff, and I was just like, bro, you're doing too much for James Prochet. And I said, look, man, if you're a relative, just say that, because what you're doing right now, this is way out of pocket. He's like, actually, I'm his uncle. I said, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right. And then we had a conversation. He calmed down, and we were good. But just because we don't think a player can play, right, doesn't mean we don't respect them as human beings. You know what I'm saying? Like, we never disrespect them. Like, you don't hear us calling them names.
Yeah.
Like some of y'all do. We don't call them names. We critique their play. And as a relative, it's your job to support your relative, to support those players. If we have a relative in the league, we're going to support them. We're going to hype them up, right? But other people aren't related to that guy. They don't have the obligation to support them the way you do. So just keep that in mind when we make our comments.
Oh no, Tyler Loop's dad was in everybody's live chat.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He actually he watched our channel. He made a comment on the Ravens roundup because he wanted to know which one of us was a Panthers fan.
Okay. And
I said Brodny's a Panthers fan, and he wanted to know how what you thought of Tetaroa because Tyler Loop played with them in Arizona.
Tetaroa is great. If you're watching,
yes,
he's the man.
Hey, you know what? It's Steven, I think his name. Steven Loop. You can come over here. We don't bash Tyler Loop over here.
No, kickers miss kicks. Like, it's not like he didn't miss a ton of them. Like he missed, it was an important one, but you only get the one shot, and he's a young kicker, and it happens. Like,
listen,
it is what it is.
Listen, Tyler Loop made the play that everybody wanted, but was afraid to make.
Yeah.
Okay. He made the change.
Afraid to admit it.
And I said, in fact, we talked about this on the morning show. I said, as far as I'm concerned, I don't remember any kick.
Yeah.
I just know we didn't make the playoffs. Coach got fired, rightfully so, and we brought in a whole new coaching regime. And Tyler Loop was the purpose of that. So I'm good with them. And who was there in the chat? Somebody called it what was the term? Blissful amnesia. Who remembers that? Who put that in there? I want to give credit to the right person. They called it blissful amnesia or something like that. But that's what we're doing with Tyler Loop. As far as I'm concerned, the slate is clean. He is our kicker. He did nothing wrong.
No.
All right. If you guys remember the term and who said it, put it in the chat. But that was a great term. We are protecting Tyler Loop. Tyler Loop is all good over here. Yeah. It's cool. He supports all the channels. He does. Yeah. He does.
And Tyler Loop went and talked to the media, unlike Mark.
Unlike Mark. Yes. And Zay. Right? Nah, he keeps selling with the kicking penalties and can't kick from league average distances. He can. And he's a rookie. And this is and honestly, like, this is what I was saying about the kicking position anyway, after we moved on from Tucker, is I don't want the next kicker to be great. Yeah. Because with Tucker, we played for field goals. Right? We didn't play for touchdowns. We played for field goals way too often, which got us in trouble. Now Steve Loop is a hero and deserves a statue. He purposefully missed so the Ravens can go into complete rebuild. Yeah, Tyler Loop is what you meant. Tyler Loop, yeah. That's what I'm saying. He did what everybody was afraid to do. That alone buys him another year in my book. Now, step it up for next year. Now you gotta really show up. But you did what needed to be done. Yes. Nightmare Kilo. That's what I'm talking about, man. Like, don't be just chilling in the shadows, man. Come in the chat. It says facts. I got tired of relying on Tucker. Exactly. Exactly. All right, couple more, and we're getting out of here because it's been over an hour. You guys keep us here much longer than we plan on being here. Imani says, I don't like Mark right now for that ball on the one. Oh, you're talking about for the drop. Yeah, you don't like him for that drop on the 1 yard line. Instead of going down with it. Yes. Yeah. You can say, hey, it was the weather, things happen. Positive amnesia. That's what it was. Tactical precision. Positive amnesia was the term. Yes. Thank you. See, he watches the morning show. He watches the morning show. That was a great term. Positive amnesia. That's whenever you think Tyler Loop, you think positive amnesia. I don't think of a missed kick. I don't even know what you're talking about. All right. He's our kicker. That's all I know. All right. This is not a Billy Cundiff moment at all. At all. That was a kick for change. How about that? A kick for change. It hurts in a moment, but it feels oh so good right now. Loop doesn't have a strong leg, below average from 50 plus this year. Next year, he's going to be better. Okay. Luke gave us a coach. I ain't mad. That's what I'm talking about. I didn't like Mark since that 2019 playoff game. Don't like him even more now. Trade him to the Panthers. Mark is another example of when we say things, sometimes you guys don't like it in the moment. Because we were saying not too long, probably after 2020 or 2021, we were like, hey, Mark ain't that good. Right? And this is when he was top 2, not 2. Remember that?
Yeah.
He was top 2, not 2.
I told him don't sign him to that extension.
When he led the league in yards for tight ends, and people were like, he's top 2, not 2. And we're like, he's not top 5. And people are like, y'all tripping. And we were like, listen, he's good. Those are good stats. But if you can't do it in the playoffs, you're not top 5 anything. Right? Mm-hmm. And we told you then he doesn't have stats in the playoffs. And people were like, oh, no, it's just, just some bad games. Oh, he's going to show up this year. And he never showed up. But last year was a last straw for you guys. When he dropped that pass, that's why you call him Fart Andrews now instead of Mark, right? Because you guys push things out of your memory for a while. You suppress things, and then it's always that last straw. It's always that one thing where you're like, you know what?
I want you to exit this guy off the premises, and I want you to exit him off his feet and use his head to open the fucking door.
Sir, you're going to have to leave.
Leave me alone! Here we go. You're fucking kidding me!
Sure enough.
It's always that last straw to get you like that. Okay, you're like, you know what? I'm sick of this guy. Get him off the premises.
Now imagine that scene if Robert De Niro came over there and was like, you know what? Give him another 100,000 in chips. Because that's what y'all did.
All right, y'all. We gotta get it out of here. What you reading, B?
Saying Mark ain't going anywhere. Neither is Marlo or Marlon. Got to see it to believe. Yeah, neither one of them's going anywhere. But I'm cool with Marlon Humphrey. I don't think. Listen, y'all. This might be a radical take. I don't think Marlon Humphrey is washed. I think he's going to perform a lot better in this system, right? Marlon Humphrey isn't the same outside corner that he used to be, right? He was much better in the slot. He's better. I think he was excellent in the red zone, right? That he forced more turnovers than anybody else on the team. He made plays. I think they just had him played out of position too many times. I think there's just way too much confusion. Some of the times where he got beat, I think he felt like there should have been some coverage over top,
There's just way too much miscommunication and way too many players saying they didn't know what was going on defense. You know what I mean? I think Marlon Humphrey still has something left in him. I think under Jesse Minter, you'll see that. So I'll just say don't really write him off.
I always love when Ravens fans say his nightmare says Marlon needs to go to safety. Y'all got Kyle Hamilton, Malachi Starks, Ardarius Washington, and Alohi Gilman possibly coming back at safety. He ain't gonna play.
Yeah, just say cut him. What's he gonna do at safety for us? And what makes you think he can play safety?
So the definition of safety is not slow corner.
Listen. The guys who do you remember that were cornerbacks that went to safety?
Rod and Charles are the two biggest ones. I mean, but it's not unheard of. But
great, you talking about great players?
Yeah, no, I'm saying it's not unheard of, but it's not as simple as he lost a step, put him at safety.
Right.
That's not
and that is more of that's a older NFL thing, right? Ramsey, yes, great player. You're naming great players. Ramsey was a great player. But in today's NFL, safety's got to be fast. They can't be slow, right? And yes, Ramsey can lose a step and move to safety because he's an excellent player. He's an excellent football player. He understands the game better than other corners, right? Didn't Bailey play safety when he was older? Champ Bailey? I think he played.
I don't remember. I don't think he did, but I don't remember. But again, Champ Bailey was a great corner.
Rod Woodson, Charles Woodson, and Ronnie Lott. Yep. Mm-hmm. You gotta be great. You can't just say, you're slow now, go to safety. Nah, you might just be done. But I don't think Marlon's done playing cornerback. Just I think Jesse Minter is going to have him balling again. But either way, we don't need Sancho. We don't need any more. We don't need any more safeties. There's no room. If you're going to convert him to safety, then you're just cutting him.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. That is it. We're getting out of here. Still 150 people in the chat. Appreciate y'all coming through. He's a slot corner only. Yeah, I think he plays much better in the slot, Martavius. I agree. Yep, Marl's a slot, not a deep safety. I agree. And I think Jesse's going to have him in the right position. I think you're going to see some vintage Marlowe out there. So, all right, we are out of here. B, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Y'all have a great night. Enjoy your weekend. We may not stream this weekend, but we'll be back Monday morning early, 6:15 a.m. Y'all enjoy your weekend. Go check out some other streams, right? I'm sure other people are going to be talking about this, but we are out of here. Peace.